Good day. So now let us discuss the answers for our midterm exam. Let's start with our true or false. So first question, under the income statement method of initially recording prepayment. So dito sa prepayment, ang sinasabi niya dito na income statement method is expense method. So, expense account is debited. So answer natin dito is true. Kasi nga, expense method yung method na ginamit sa pag-record. So, debit natin yung ating expense. Next, under the balance sheet method of initially recording pre-collection, ibig sabihin, balance sheet, yung nasa balance sheet na account yung ating ginamit na method, ibig sabihin, liability method. So, the liability account is credited. Answer natin dyan is true. Yan, true. Next question. A business system of recording prepayments and advance collections is usually developed when the business is getting started. Yes, of course. Kasi nga, sa first naman talaga yun or sa pag-start ng business kasi nga dyan yung mga prepayments and advance collections. So answer natin dyan is true. Next, regardless of how prepayment or advance collection was originally recorded, the adjustments will bring accounts up to date before the financial statements are prepared. Again, di ba no, yung ating adjusting entries or yung ating adjustments, ang purpose niyan is to update the, the true amount or the true figures of such account title. So kahit ano pa yung ginamit natin na method, whether income statement method or balance sheet method, ganun pa din yung magiging final answer niya. Magiging up-to-date yung figure natin. So the answer is true. Next, when the year-end adjustment on pre-collection requires a debit to liability account, then the initial recording was under the liability method. O sabi daw dito, kung yung adjusting entry natin na magkakaroon tayo ng debit to liability account, ibig sabihin babawasan natin yung liability account, ibig sabihin nun, nung initial recording natin or nung time na nag-journal entry tayo, liability method yung ginamit natin. So, ang answer natin dito is true. True siya. Next, pre-collections initially recorded as income will overstate the income at the end of the accounting period if no adjustment is done for unearned option. So, pag sinabing pre-collection, ito yung mga unearned, naka-receive muna tayo ng pera pero hindi pa tayo nakapag-render ng service. So, basically, ito yung naging entry natin sa ating pre-collections using the income method. So, kung ito yung ginamit natin, at the end of the year, dapat tayo mag-adjust. Kasi nga, hindi naman totoo itong amount ng service income. So, pag hindi natin to na-adjust, mag-overstate. Ibig sabihin ng overstate, so sobra yung stated income natin. So, kapag sumobra yun, ibig sabihin mali na yun siya. If no adjustment is done for an earned option. So, yung answer natin dito is true. So, next question. The cost of tangible assets is allocated throughout the useful life of the assets by debiting the annual proportionate depreciation expense account. Yes, answer natin dito is true. Depreciation expense is always equal to accumulated depreciation at the end of any accounting period. So, ang answer natin dyan, generally, ano, but not always. Kasi nga, paano kung yung depreciable asset natin is meron siyang scrap value or salvage value. So, hindi siya always equal yung ating depreciation and accumulated depreciation at the end of any accounting period. Or, wait, accounting period pala, no? Um, Hindi siya equal kasi nga, on the first year, for example, 10,000 yung depreciation, o the same sila, 10,000 on the first year. On the second year, mag-accumulate na ngayon yung sa accumulated depreciation. Pag year 2 na, magiging 20,000 na si accumulated, pero si depreciation expense is nasa 10,000 pa din. Kasi nga, um, temporary account lang si depreciation expense. So, ang answer natin dyan is false. Next, salvage value is the same as scrap value for computation of depreciable amount. Yes, answer natin dyan is true. Next, adjusting entries are made so that the financial statements would adhere to the generally accepted recognition principle. Yes, answer natin dyan is true. Next, adjusting entries are made to conform to the matching principle of accounting. Yes. Kasi nga, dun sa accrual natin, for example, sa expense natin, kapag naka-incur na tayo na expense, dapat magre-record tayo ng expense with the matching liability. So, dito kasi sa matching principle natin, ang sinasabi dito, kung kailan natin na-incur yung isang expense or kung kailan natin na-earn yung revenue na yun, kung anong year, dun siya dapat natin i-record. So, adjusting entries are made to conform to the matching principles of accounting. So, answer natin dyan is true. Next, deferral is intended to recognize income earned but not yet received. So, deferral ba siya? Dapat dito is accrual. So, recognize not under accrual, we recognize income when earned regardless of when received. So, ang answer natin dito is false. Next, accrued expenses include expenses that were incurred but remain unpaid at the end of an accounting period. Yes, ang answer natin dito is true. Next, accrual of expenses will increase the expense element and will correspondingly decrease the liability. So, yung entry natin dito, we debit expense and then we credit liability. So, the answer for this question is false. Kasi, the moment na mag-accrue tayo, mag-increase yung expense natin. At the same time, mag-increase din dapat yung liability. So, ang answer natin dito is false. Next, if unpaid expenses incurred during the accounting period are not accrued, the income for the same period will be overstated. So, dito sa question na to, marami yung nagkamali. So, ang sabi ng question, kung yung unpaid expense daw natin is nagamit na natin siya, pero hindi siya na-accrued, ibig sabihin hindi tayo nakapag-record. The income for the same period will be overstated. Yung income ba daw ng period na yun is sobra. So, dapat yung entry natin for that is debit the salaries expense and then we credit salaries payable. Ito dapat yung magiging entry. Pero since sabi sa problem, sabi sa statement, hindi daw natin ito nagawa, hindi tayo nakapag-accrue. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka nakapag-record ng expense. Kung hindi ka nakapag-record na expense, malamang susobra yung income mo kasi hindi mo to mababawas. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng pag-overstate ng ating income. So, ang answer natin dyan is true. True. Next, prepayments are always taken up in the books as assets at their initial recording. So, generally, yung ginagamit natin, asset method. But, we also have expense method. So, hindi dapat always yung term na ginamit. So, yung answer natin dyan is false. Kasi pwede namang gumamit ng expense method. Depende sa bookkeeper or depende sa business. So next, under the expense method of recording prepayments, then unexpired portion, ibig sabihin ng unexpired portion, ito yung asset portion, yung remaining. At the end of the accounting period is to be debited to the asset account. So ito na yung naging entry natin. Initial entry natin, kasi nga expense method yung ginamit, we debit an expense account. And then, at the end of the accounting period, kung magkano yung remaining ng ating insurance, dapat mag-record tayo ng prepaid insurance. Yung remaining or yung unexpired portion. So, we debit an prepaid insurance and then we credit the insurance expense kasi nga, hindi naman ito yung totoong amount ng insurance expense. So, ang answer natin for this question is true. Prepayment of interest expense under asset method should be recorded as debit to unearned interest. So sabi daw dito, nagbayad tayo ng interest. O, nagbayad tayo in advance ng interest. So under asset method, dapat debit tayo ng prepaid interest. Kasi yung sabi dito as debit to unearned interest. Mag-unearned interest ka lang naman kapag ikaw yung binayaran ng interest. So dapat pre-collection 'yon, hindi yung prepayment. So unearned interest is a liability account or unearned interest. Oh, yes, it is a liability account. So dapat kung prepayment of interest expense, asset mo na yon since hindi pa nag-accrue, so asset muna. So yung answer natin dito is false. Next, prepayment of supplies initially recorded as asset will be adjusted at the end of the period as debit to unused supplies, the portion that remains unused. So ang ginamit dito na method is asset. So kapag nag-adjust tayo at the end of the accounting period, dapat debit na natin yung expense account kasi nga asset naman yung initial recording natin. So, pag mag-a-adjust na tayo, debit tayo ng supplies expense and then credit natin yung unused supplies because unused supplies is an asset account. So, answer natin dito is false. Next, prepayments that are initially recorded as asset will overstate the income if all of these are totally consumed as at the end of accounting period and no adjustments are made. So sabi dito, um, nag-record daw ng prepayments, asset method, so debit lahat ng asset. Ganun yung sinabi. Pero, mag-overstate daw yung income natin kung lahat ng asset natin na yun is nagamit pero hindi nagkaroon ng adjustment. So, ang answer natin dito is true. Kasi nga, nakadebit tayo ng asset. Tapos at the end of the accounting period, nagamit natin lahat ng asset pero hindi tayo nag-record ng expense account. So malamang hindi mababawasan yung revenue natin. So ibig sabihin nun, mag-overstate or sobra yung ating income. So ang answer natin dito is true. So next, we are down to our multiple choice. Adjusting entries will increase or decrease at least a nominal account and a real account. Mapapansin nyo, no? Under our deferrals, asset expense, tapos liability income, under accrual, expense, liability, tapos asset, tapos income. Ganun yung partner. So, at least a nominal account and a real account yung answer natin. Next, to accrue salary incurred but yet to paid will require a, so answer natin dito, debit tayo ng expense, credit tayo ng liability, so answer natin dito is ito. Next, the statement of comprehensive income contains, so ibig sabihin ng statement of comprehensive income is the income statement. So prepaid expense is an asset account because of this term prepaid. Unearned rent is a liability account. Unused supplies, sorry, typo error. So unused supplies is an asset account. So expired insurance is an expense. Ibig sabihin, ito yung answer natin. Expired insurance. In the statement of financial position is reported. So, ito, ibig sabihin ng statement of financial position is the balance sheet. So, allowance for bad debt is a contra asset account. Therefore, siya yung makikita doon sa ating statement of financial position or the balance sheet. All other or temporary accounts or income statement accounts. Next, accrued revenue to be recorded will, ano daw, accrued revenue. Pag nag-record tayo ng accrued revenue, ibig sabihin, mag-i-increase yung ating asset, and at the same time, mag-i-increase yung ating income. Increase asset and increase income. So, answer natin dito is ito. Increased in assets. Next, all of the following are adjustments. All the following are adjustments based on estimate exempt. So, budget expense is depende sa estimation or depende sa ipaprovide the percent ng ating ng owner. Depreciation is also an estimate. Kasi nga, ini-estimate lang naman yung useful life. Amortization as well. Amortization also is an estimate. But the accrual is specific yung kanyang amount and not based on estimate. So, answer natin dito is accrual. So, next, journal entries. The accountant of MJ Services made the following adjusting entries on December 31, 2008. Prepare the initial journal entry made for each of the adjusting entries. So, ang required sa atin, yung initial journal entry. Ang given dito sa atin is yung adjusting entry. So, pabalik yung ating recording. So, sabi dito, annual rent expense is paid in advance every August 31. So, pag sinabing annual, that is 1 year or 12 months. So, binabayaran siya ng advance every August 31. So, ang requirements at dito, ano yung entry natin noong August 31? Kasi yung given dito, ito yung entry December 31. So, ano ba yung initial entry natin? So, since ang given dito, nakadebit na yung asset natin, ibig sabihin, yung initial entry natin is, ang ginamit niyang method is expense account kasi naka-credit na yung expense natin. So, ibig sabihin, ang debit niya noong August 31 is an expense account. So, ganito dapat yung entry. So, ito dapat yung ito dapat yung entry natin. Hindi pala. Debit tayo ng rent expense, credit tayo ng cash. So, ang tanong, ano yung entry natin noong August 31, nung time na nagbayad tayo ng renta? So, ito yung entry natin. Nag-debit tayo ng rent expense, nag-credit tayo ng cash. Pero, hindi 18,000. So, nung nakita ko yung mga answers nyo, kinopya nyo lang yung amount. So, sad to say, maling-mali yun. So, ibig sabihin, dito sa given natin, na 18,000, ito na lang yung naiwan kasi nga meron naman tayo. Kasi yung adjusting entry natin, nag-debit ng asset, 18,000. Ibig sabihin ng 18,000, yan yung remaining portion ng rent or ng prepaid rent. So, dapat magbilang tayo from August 31. Ibig sabihin itong amount na ito yung unexpired portion. So, paano pa tayo magbibilang? Ganito. Since August 31 natin, August 31 tayo nagbayad, tapos yung naging adjusting entry natin is December 31. So, mag-start tayo ng bilang from September to December. So, ilang months ba yan? So, September, October, November, December. That is 4 months. So, ibig sabihin, from August 31 down to December 31, 4 months na yung nagamit or yung na-incur sa rent natin. So, kung ibabawas natin siya sa isang taon, 12 months less 4 months na nagamit, sabihin nito expense na, ibig sabihin meron pa tayong remaining na 8 months. So, kung meron tayong remaining na 8 months, ibig sabihin, itong nasa given natin, good for 8 months pa ito. Itong 18,000. So, ang gagawin natin, 18,000 tayo, divide natin by 8 months. So, divide natin, yung answer natin is 2,250. So, ibig sabihin ito, 2,250, ito yung per month ng ating rent expense. So, again yung 18,000 na given, ito yung remaining na rent natin for 8 months na hindi pa nagagamit. So, pag-divide natin yan, ito yung per month. So, para makuha natin kung magkano yung binayad natin nung August 31, times natin ito by 12 kasi good for 1 year. So, 2,250 times 12, yung answer natin is 27,000. So, ibig sabihin nung August 31, ang binayad natin is 27,000. So, nag-debit tayo ng rent expense of 27,000 and then nagbayad tayo ng cash of 27,000 pesos. And then meron tayong remaining na 18,000 for our prepaid rent. So, next, annual rent income is received in advance every October 31. So, on December 31, nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong adjusting entry. Debit ng rent income, 9,000, and then nag-credit ng unearned income. So, dito, since naka-debit na yung ating rent income, which is normally on the credit side, ibig sabihin yung ginamit na method is income method. So, ang question sa atin, ano yung naging entry natin noong October 31 kasi nga ang given dito is December 31 adjusting entry. So, ganito siya. Again, yung annual rent income is na-receive in advance. So, ibig sabihin, nag-debit tayo niya ng cash and nag-credit tayo ng rent income. Ibig sabihin nitong unearned income dito, ito yung remaining na unearned or hindi pa natin na-earn na income. So, dito tayo sa ating entry. Paano natin yan makukuha? We have an remaining of 9,000. Pero magbibilang muna tayo since annual. So, since October 31, yung ating transaction, mag-start tayo ng bilang October, November, and December. November and December, we have 2 months. Ibig sabihin, 2 months na yung na-earn natin. So, isang taon, bawas natin yung 2 months, ibig sabihin meron pa tayong remaining na 10 months. Ibig sabihin, itong 10 months na ito pa yung unearned. Ito yung sinasabi nung 9,000. So, 9,000 tayo, divide natin by 10 months. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong 900 per month. Since ang gusto nating kunin is yung pang isang taon kasi yun yung binayad natin dito. So, 900 tayo times 12. Ibig sabihin, yung ating binayad or yung na-receive pala natin, yung na-receive natin no October 31 is 10,800 pesos. So, ito yung naging entry natin noong October 31. Next, debit. Monthly advertising is paid at one time for a year starting March 31. So, ano yung entry natin? March 31. So, on December 31, nagkaroon siya ng adjusting entry na prepaid advertising. Ibig sabihin, yan yung remaining portion ng ating advertising na hindi pa natin nagagamit. Tapos, nag-credit ng advertising expense na ng 17,000. Ibig sabihin, ang ginamit na method dito noong March 31 is an expense account. So, kung mag-entry tayo, ibig sabihin ng March 31, ito yung naging entry niya. Nag-debit siya ng advertising expense and then nag-credit siya ng cash. Pero magkano? So, again, magbibilang tayo. March 31 to December 31 kasi good for 1 year yan. One time for a year. So, kung March 31, ibig sabihin, start tayo ng bilang from April to December. So, 12. So, April to December, ilang months ba yan? So, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So, that is 9 months. So, isang taon, bawasan natin ng 9 months. Ibig sabihin, may 3 months tayo na nagamit na or na-expense na. So 3 months na lang yung remaining natin. Ibig sabihin yung kanina sa entry, 17,000. Ito na lang yung remaining kasi nga nakadebit yung asset natin. So 17,000 tayo, divide natin by 3 months. 17,000 divided by 3 months is 5,666.67 times 12 months para sa isang taon. Kung magkano yung binayaran niya noong March 31 times 12 natin, sabihin, yung binayaran is 68,000 pesos. So, nag-debit ng advertising expense 68, nag-debit ng cash ng 68,000. Next, yearly insurance premium is payable on June 30. So, ano yung naging entry natin ng June 30? Again, nagkaroon tayo ng adjusting entry at the end of the year of prepaid insurance na 1.5 and then credit ng insurance expense. Ibig sabihin, again, expense method yung ginamit. noong initial entry pa lang, June 30. So, ang nagamit na natin is from, kung June 30 tayo nagbayad, start tayo ng bilang from July to December 31. That is 6 months. So, sa isang taon, less 6 months, ibig sabihin, 6 months din yung remaining. So, ibig sabihin yung 1.5 is good for 6 months. So, 1.5 tayo divided by 6 months. Ibig sabihin, tag 250 per month times 12. Isang taon. Ibig sabihin, meron tayo 3,000 na binayaran noong June 30. So, debit tayo ng insurance expense, 30,000, credit ng cash of 30,000 pesos. Office supplies purchased 6,500 and used 1,500. So, maraming nagkamali dito. Inad pa talaga yung dalawa. So, nag-debit ng office supplies 5,000. Ibig sabihin yan yung remaining. And then, nag-credit ng office supplies expense. Again, be consistent sa paggamit ng account title. Since given na yung account title natin, hindi na ako magko-consider. So, kung ganito yung adjusting entry niya, ibig sabihin, expense method yung ginamit. Again, balik tayo sa ating entry. So, nung time na nag-purchase, sabi, office supplies purchase 6,500. Ibig sabihin, ito yung naging entry natin. Mali. Office supplies expense. Ito yung naging entry. Debit ng office supplies expense and then nag-credit ng cash of 6,500. Workers' actual work was offset against the employees' salary advances. So, ito yung naging adjusting entry. Ang sabi daw, nagkaroon ng advances yung ating mga empleyado. Tapos, na-offset na kasi pinagtrabahuhan na nila yung naging advances nila. So, ibig sabihin, bayad na nung una pa lang yung kanilang yung expense o yung salaries. So, yung magiging entry natin dyan, initial entry, nag-debit tayo ng advance to employees and then nag-credit tayo ng cash kasi na nag-advance yung ating mga empleyado. So, lastly, for our computation, ginawa ko siyang bonus kasi nga nagka-typo error ako dito. So, dapat dito, acquired an equipment last January 2009 with an estimated useful life of 14 years. The cumulative depreciation of the equipment was 210. That is on December 2014. And on December 2015, the book value was 255,000. Yung question sa atin, magkano daw yung cost of the equipment noong 2008 kung meron tayong scrap value na 10,000 pesos. So, ito yung given natin. Ay, i-compute natin yung cost o yung acquisition cost, magkano ba ang cost. So, from our given, meron tayong accumulated depreciation of noong 2014 na 210,000. Again, itong accumulated depreciation, ito yung mga depreciation natin, depreciation expense natin every year na nag-accumulate kasi, di ba? Itong accumulated depreciation, nakikita ito sa balance sheet. So, from 2009 to 2014, ito yung nag-accumulate na depreciation expense. So, kung bibilangin natin from 2009 to 2014, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that is 6 years. So, ibig sabihin, good for 6 years itong 210. So, divide natin yung 210 by 6. Ibig sabihin, 35,000 yung ating depreciation expense every year. So, depreciation expense natin yan kada taon. So, kung ito yung depreciation expense natin, 35,000 every year, times natin sa kanyang useful life, times 14 years, ang makukuha natin is 490,000. Ito yung depreciable amount ng ating equipment. Since meron tayong scrap value of 10,000, add natin yan. Kasi nga, di ba, pag yung formula natin, acquisition cost tayo, or cost, bawas natin yung scrap value. Ang answer dito, ito yung depreciable amount. Bago natin i-divide sa kanyang useful life. Diba? Ganun siya. So, 490 tayo plus 10,000, that is 500,000 pesos ang ating correct answer. So, aside sa given, meron din tayong isang given kung magagamit ba itong book value ng 2015 na 255. Yes, magagamit natin yan for checking purposes. Depende sa inyo kung gusto nyong gamitin. So, ganito siya. Book value 2015, 255. Pero yung given natin dito, accumulated depreciation is 2014. So, gawin natin yung accumulated depreciation ng 2015. So, paano yan mangyayari? 210. Add natin yung 35,000 every year. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong 245,000 pesos. So, 255 plus 245, that is 500,000 pesos cost of equipment. So, I hope naintindihan nyo yung ating explanation and balik-balikan nyo kasi adjustment is isa sa mga pinaka-challenging na part ng accounting. So, thank you and God bless.